So are you moving the Christmas tree around? Do you have one tied to your car right now while you're listening? Are you going to put it indoors? Where are you going to put that Christmas tree? And how do you keep basically a dead tree looking green? It just so happens that in a recent article in the Sacramento Digs Gardening newsletter, Debbie Arrington, Kathy Morrison came up with some ideas on how to keep your Christmas tree looking green. Debbie Arrington is with us. And Debbie, how do you keep your Christmas tree looking healthy, merry, and green?
Well, think of your Christmas tree like you would any cut flower. It needs water. And the way to get water is to put it in a sturdy stand that can hold about a quart of water at least. The taller the tree, the more water it needs. According to the National Christmas Tree Association, you need 1 quart of water per inch of trunk diameter. And so make sure that the stand can hold that much and then check it every day. Because if the trunk dries out, resin starts forming and it blocks the uptake of more water and the tree will just dry out like a flower would dry out if the vase ran out of water.
What about additives? Do they do any good?
Apparently, research that the National Christmas Tree Association shared shows that clean water works best. Home remedies like adding aspirin or bleach or corn syrup or sugar or a can of 7-Up or, whatever, they didn't make any difference. And in fact, the corn syrup and stuff attracted bugs, so that wasn't good.
If you are driving home from the Christmas tree lot right now with that tree tied to the roof of your car, one thing you need to do before you bring it in the house, well, yeah, shake it out and get all the bugs off, but also maybe cut off a ½ inch or an inch of the bottom of the stem to allow some clean uptake from that water.
Yes, because that resin that blocks the flow of uptake, it's already formed while that tree was sitting there waiting for somebody to take it home. The Tree Association actually says that you should cut off at least 1 inch to restore the flow and let the water come back up.
And that water thing isn't just an occasional check. That's something that you have to check every day to make sure that the stand basin is full.
Yes, check it every morning. And you'll be surprised how much water that tree will uptake.
And that's one of my big issues with a lot of Christmas tree stands. They aren't big enough and don't hold enough water. So I would choose a tree stand that could hold probably a gallon of water or so.
Yes. Yeah. If you have a full-size 6-foot tree, you probably do need a stand that could hold a gallon of water. And a gallon sounds like a lot, but you look at a gallon of milk. That's how big of a reservoir you need on that stand.
Yeah. Now, you've got the tree off the car. You've cut off part of that trunk or that 1 inch or so. You've got the stand set up. Where is the best place in the house to put a Christmas tree, or what should you avoid?
Well, the best place to put the tree is someplace that will stay cool and away from direct light. Lots of folks like to put their tree in the front window so everybody can see it. But if that window is facing west or south, it's going to cook the tree. It prefers much more having some place where it is away from direct light and also away from heat. You don't want to be anywhere near a heater vent because that just sucks the moisture right out of the tree. If the tree is in a nice cool corner, it will retain its needles much longer.
Yeah, that's the key, is keeping the needles on. They haven't come up with a cure yet on how to keep cats out of Christmas tree ornaments yet.
No, that's why we have a tabletop tree, and the cat knows that she can't get up on that table or she's in a lot of trouble.
All right. And again, I guess the really big point is with the Christmas tree, be it a dead tree or even a living tree, make sure that there is water there.
Yes. And that's the thing with a living tree is evergreens don't like to be indoors. And here you've got a big potted fir or spruce or pine, and you've lugged it inside, and it is not in its natural habitat, and it is desperate for light. Evergreens are all full sun trees. They are not meant to be out inside where a tropical plant might live. And so if you do have a living tree, give it as much light as possible, preferably in a sunny window, and make sure it gets watered every day. And then get it outside as soon as possible because it will be much happier outdoors. But when you return it outdoors, don't just plunge it into full sun and freezing temperatures. You've got to gradually bring it back outside, probably on a covered patio, where it can readjust to outside temperatures and light.
And you make a very good point. Now, here we're talking about living Christmas trees that you want to perhaps bring back into the house for the following Christmas. You want to choose a tree variety that is going to like your neighborhood. So choose a variety that is adapted to your climate. And there are some interesting little Christmas trees out there, living Christmas trees that are actually rosemary plants.
Yes, and your Christmas tree doesn't have to be an evergreen. It can be some other kind of evergreen, like that doesn't lose its leaves, like a rosemary plant doesn't lose its leaves. It doesn't have to necessarily be a conifer, I guess would be the proper term. Yeah, you can have lots of different things to be your Christmas tree. I've seen them in rosemaries, and I've seen different herbal ones, topiary ones, where they took a privet or some other type of hedging plant and then cut it into the shape of a Christmas tree. Christmas trees, they are decoration, and they are a way of bringing some of the life from outside inside and make us merry and bright. You can be creative. You don't have to necessarily have a fir as your Christmas tree.
Exactly. Just buy yourself a good pair of pruning shears, because if it is a rosemary or some other sort of hedging plant, it will need consistent pruning to maintain that Christmas tree shape.
Yes.
So put that on your Christmas list. Pair of good pruners. Debbie Arrington, Sacramento Digs Gardening is the publication that comes out every day. And if people want to check out Sacramento Digs Gardening, we'll have a link in the show notes to it. But if you want to do an internet search, how do you do it?
Look up Sacramento Digs Gardening, and we were formerly on Blogspot, but we're now on Cal Local. So look for sacramentodigsgardening.californialocal.com.
There you go, Debbie Arrington. Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays.